Welcome back to Booze, Bros, and Cars, your favorite podcast about booze and cars. And we're your hosts. I'm Eric.
Mike.
And I'm Nick.
All right, so on today's podcast, thanks to Woodford Reserve and to Publix, we're not sponsored by them, but thanks to them, we're going to have a Florida Man podcast here today.
Woo!
Yeah.
Should be fun. We were all kind of shocked when we saw that suddenly the Publix liquor stores had their own selection of Woodford with their name on it, with their own special blend. So it should make for an interesting drink and an overall interesting experience here with our little accoutrements.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, actually, Nick, do you want to get your mic closer? Check yours too.
Can't go wrong with some spicy popcorn chicken
All right.
and some pub subs. Gonna be
yum.
doing a little snacking on this one as well as some drinking. So
Yes, we will be. But yeah, so obviously we have the bourbon here from Woodford. We have a beer from Coppertail.
nope.
That's-
So
yeah.
Cigar City.
Oh, Cigar City.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about this later. For some of you watching, if you're looking at the label, you probably already know what that is, but we'll go into a little bit of detail. Figure that'll be the dessert. Go
Yeah.
wash down those cookies with.
Oh yeah. Oh, because we also have bourbon cookies to go with.
Bourbon chocolate walnut shortbread cookies.
Yes, to go
Why
with
not?
to go with all this stuff here.
Because
Why not?
Publix in Florida.
Because Publix. Yeah.
Because Publix, Florida, and OMG, it's Wix,
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all the Florida things.
for sure.
But yeah. So, what do you guys want to crack open first?
Well, I figured we could start off with some beer first. So
Yeah.
we got a couple of things hiding in this cooler back here behind me. Let's start off with one that we have already had on the podcast before because we went to their brewery. But in this particular podcast, this is a great idea from our friend Carmelo about doing kind of a Florida man. So we're gonna stick to some Florida breweries. Obviously, we're gonna eat food from Publix, which is kind of what you do in Florida.
a very
Yeah.
Florida thing to do.
But yeah, so LaBelle Brewing Company, we were there. We hung out with the boys out at the brewery out there, Corey and Garrett. So we're gonna start off with Sit and Stay. It's their session late IPA. So
Really good IPA.
each
It
get a little
was
bit of
delicious.
this. We got a couple different Florida beers.
Wait,
and-
hold on. Wait, before you pour that one. Just do a little ASMR here.
Oh yeah, here we go. Get the bubbles.
I don't know if you can hear that, but
Sorry, I ruined it.
damn it, Mike.
Prematurely.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Premature pour.
All right,
Did you have two kids?
so
That doesn't have to last long to get 2 kids there.
throw that out there. Start off with this one.
I also have 2, I'm just saying.
Cheers.
So
Cheers, boys.
cheers to a good start here, Florida man style.
Yes. It's a good
Good.
IPA, man.
That's such a
Citrusy.
smooth.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Light ABV, just really, really easy drinking.
Yeah.
It is very citrusy though, which I feel like is perfect. for
yeah.
what we're doing today.
Honestly,
I
we
think
always
so.
talk about like all day IPA and stuff like that. This could easily
Oh, 100%.
take that
Oh, yeah.
place when we go to the races and stuff.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Garrett joined us this year for Sebring.
He did.
So
He
I
did.
have a feeling moving forward, Garrett's probably going to join us for Sebring. So
Yeah.
maybe we can get a beer sponsor for the event.
I mean,
you know?
that'd be kind of just something as simple as one of their canopies or something. Just kind of extra canopy to set up. Plus, we're gonna have the RV this year.
Right.
Oh, we are,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
that bad boy's already reserved, confirmed.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
We're
excited for
good to
next
go.
year.
It's gonna be a good 2025 Sebring next year.
It's going to be epic. Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But so, I want to tell you guys a quick story because I was driving over here
Let it rip, buddy.
and really
What you gonna
funny. It's fine. Go ahead and do your thing. I probably saw a very very Florida man thing today. I was when I was driving over here. I usually just to come to Nick's house. I usually just shoot down College. So down College and Summerlin, where that overpass is for Summerlin. Like I look over and there was like a dude like on the corner, and he's like he's sitting on a skateboard, and I'm like, man, it doesn't look like a very tall guy. Well, he wasn't a very tall man. He wasn't.
I'm willing to bet he
Oh,
was
I
missing
know
some
what you're. I know
appendages.
who you're talking about. Because
Yeah,
I've seen him.
yeah, and apparently he's an amputee because he's missing an arm and a leg, and he's pushing himself with his other leg on the skateboard, and he was only wearing shorts. He wasn't even wearing a shirt. And I was like, that is such a Florida man shit to do today.
Man. I mean, you got to get around. Might as well get creative while you do it. You know?
Yes, you do. And I'll tell you what, he got creative. That's for sure.
I know. Yeah. I mean, unfortunate to see somebody like that, but hey,
It is, but
making the most of it. Maybe he just really enjoys skateboarding.
Yeah.
Maybe. Poor guy ended up getting run over though out there.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Crazy people.
Yeah, totally random off topic, but do you guys watch David Portnoy at all? Like his one bite?
Some clips here or there.
A little bit.
When I'm going up to Rhode Island next month, a couple of places he's been to in Connecticut, I think it is, are like 2 hours away. And I'm on the verge of making a decision with the rental car to like, just me and the wife just run 2 hours out.
Oh,
get
yeah.
some pizza from I think it's Sally's and Pepe's.
Oh yeah,
But,
yeah. There's a couple of places up there that he loves New Haven style pizza.
And that was specifically what it was. There's 3 places in New Haven that are like supposed to be amazing. With 2, I can't remember the name. It was Pepe's and Sally's. They're supposed to be some of the best, according to him, some of the best pizza in the country.
Oh yeah, I think
in his top 5.
He's
so.
scored at like 9s or high 8s or something.
I
So
was gonna say he doesn't score anything 9, so that would be
very rarely does
very,
he
very
do.
high.
I'm considering
ranking.
making that trip. It's kind of unlikely because it's a family vacation with my in-laws and all that shit. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah. But no, like the reason why I wanted to bring him up is because I think he has a house in West Palm and he actually lives here in Florida.
Okay.
But there was a day where this was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago that apparently he was doing a review for a pizza place like he usually always does. And he walked out and some dude just like kind of walked behind him and yelled out something like, make sure you share it with a crack addict or something. And then like, and he's like speechless. He's like stunned. And like, he's like staring at the guy. And the guy's like walking away. And he just points at the guy. He's like, how's he pulling that? Because he has no arms and he's pulling a trailer. Like a little, like radio flyer, like little cart
Wagon?
thing. Yeah, wagon.
So
like
weird.
he's pulling it. And then he's like, how's he pulling that?
One bite, everybody knows the rules. Block's Pizza Deli. Roman kind of looking style, looks pretty good right there. Cut it in 4s, did a little drizz on it.
And don't forget to give it to a crack addict. That's all we got on the beach, crack addict.
How's he pulling that? How's he pulling that? Is it hooked? Listen, today is a day where we just appreciate everything. I rarely get left speechless. I was left speechless.
It was the funniest shit
Like
ever.
a harness or something.
No, well, there was like a rope, right? But it like went into like the shirt, but like the dude had no arms.
Well, nubby holding it.
Maybe, I don't know. That's fucking hilarious. But I mean, apparently the dude died. R.I.P. I guess he died like after that was done. I don't know from what, but yeah, I just thought that was a really hilarious encounter, and that's another Florida man thing that you can potentially see here
We
in Florida.
see some interesting walks of life down here.
Right.
That's
But,
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
accurate,
we
yeah.
sure do. You know.
well, I mean, unlike you guys, I didn't grow up here. I've only been here about 11 years now. You
That's
guys
true.
are actually like born and raised.
So I was only raised here. I wasn't actually born.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm
Western,
pretty sure
yeah.
I'm the only one
You were-
born and raised.
yeah, you were
so
telling me-
I'm the only
Okay,
true
he was
Floridian.
born in the same state I was born, that I was raised in. He didn't stay there very long.
No, I was like 10 months old.
But
then.
still, that counts. You were still born somewhere.
Yeah, became a Florida man.
We're all born somewhere, Mike.
We are.
Not in Florida though.
Well, that's true.
So, yeah, true Floridian. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I don't know if
You
that's
are
a
a
thing to
legit
brag
Florida
about
cracker.
or not, but
I don't
you
know,
know.
I kind of consider myself a true Floridian,
Well,
considering the fact
you
that
are, but
considering the fact that like I've never lived outside of the state of
Right.
Florida. Like
Right.
I was less than a year old, like when my parents decided to move down here. So
You should have rebelled at 10 months old.
all right. Well, I'm gonna go off the cusp here then, because we kind of have a couple of like questions that we're gonna ask each other during this podcast. But I'm gonna ask one about what is your favorite thing about living in Florida? Just put you guys on the spot.
so
Favorite thing.
I'm gonna let Nick go first because he's been here for less time than we have.
So for me, the big thing is weather related. I did not enjoy living in the snow, nor having to clean snow or anything of that. So although it's not a Florida specific thing per se,
Okay.
for me that's one of the big things that I just never, pending some kind of environmental apocalypse, have to worry about the snow down here and deal with any of that shit.
That's valid.
outside of
That's
that.
why a lot of people live in Florida.
Right. Outside of that, politics and no state income tax.
That was going to be one of mine, Jim. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I would say those as well, but I don't know. I feel like us being car guys, the one thing that I love about Florida is the fact that we have no emissions here. And with the state of Florida, they don't care what you register so long that it has 4 wheels, headlights, taillights, and a running engine. Versus
That's true.
like
That was the other thing that I was going to say.
Yeah,
So you
versus-
guys kind of nailed both of them.
Yeah, versus
Yeah.
like other states, which it's come up on. Like we've clipped the drive often, and I think this story came out on the drive. But I think was it Connecticut or Massachusetts or or Maine or Vermont that they're banning the registration of K cars or K trucks.
I hadn't
That's
seen
wild.
that, but the most recent automotive news that's just mind-boggling for me is our polar opposite state, California.
Oh
The
God.
shithole that that's become politically.
Yeah.
And if I piss
it's
anybody off
bad.
for the political aspects of this thing, I'm not going into who I'm voting for and all that shit. But that state's a fucking train wreck. I don't
Yes,
care what
it
anybody
is.
thinks. And now their new thing, the genius that dumb shit Newsom is he wants to now tax the people 30 cents a mile they drive on top of all the other
Saw
bullshit
that.
they tax on. 30
Saw that.
cents a mile.
And,
you see
and
why?
do you know why? Yeah,
Yeah.
because we've kind of shared this with each other. It's the
Yeah,
fact that EV cars don't have
Right.
to pay the emissions tax.
Well,
The
they're
gas
not
tax.
paying
The gas
the
tax,
gas
sorry.
tax, and they're heavier, and they're doing more damage to the roadways, requiring them to need more maintenance. So their bullshit EV push is going to cost everybody, including the EV drivers, more money now.
Yep.
On top of the fact that it crashes their grid when everybody tries to charge their shit. So, okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations, California.
I
You
get
just
it. As far as
fucking played
California,
yourself.
Congratulations.
Yeah, California itself is beautiful, but the people there are stupid. Sorry.
So, I mean, it's a good point because we essentially have kind of similar weather, everything is about the same. We got beaches, we got similar weather patterns.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is like I'm born and raised in Florida. I love being cold. I love the snow. I've never had to live in it. I've never had to shovel it.
it's
I've only visited.
nice to visit.
It's
Yeah,
nice to
it's
very
visit.
nice to
So,
visit.
we one of the things that people say a lot, when you live in Florida is, we live where you go on vacation. So something to be said about that. Like I
Yes.
said, I've never been subjected to shoveling snow to get out of my driveway. Doesn't sound fun, even though I don't mind being cold. But
Yeah.
the weather is pretty nice, other than just being hot most of the time. But you
Yeah.
get used to that.
It's cool when you're a kid. After you're an adult, it's your
Right.
responsibility to take care of it. Not so
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
that's true. But
Also, if you guys are interested in moving to the state of Florida, we are currently closed at the moment, and
Yeah,
only
sorry,
we're
not
only
accepting new entries.
only by invites, and
Yep.
we're currently not inviting a lot of people.
yeah, if you're cool, maybe.
Yeah.
If you're cool, all right, that's fine. Yeah, but I was gonna say the exact same thing about the pretty lax on our automotive side, which is obviously
Yeah.
very important to us. Every single modification that we put on our car doesn't have to be California legal
Yeah,
and
it's
all
not
that,
CARB
carb
certified.
certified and all
Yeah.
that. So that's a big part. The state income tax is a big part, but there are
yeah.
definitely some
Yeah.
benefits to
And,
living in
and let's be
Florida.
real. Geographically, it's fucking beautiful. I mean,
yeah.
I'm more of a mountain kind of guy personally. That
that.
probably comes from just living here my entire life.
Yeah, you're used to
I'm
the
not a
flat
big
ground
beach
forever.
person. Yeah, you
well,
see flat
I'm not,
forever.
I'm not a big beach person, but just in general, man, it's hard to be having like you know what? You walk out the front door and it's slushy and it's snowing and it's cold. It's really easy to have a shitty morning already.
Yeah.
You walk out the door here. I mean, yeah, it might be hot,
It's
but then
hot.
you got palm trees and
Right.
blue skies
Yep.
and the sun, and you're gonna. When I drive to work every morning, I'm driving over nice blue water over the bridge to go to so I mean, it's
Yeah, there's
it's
worse
just
places.
nice.
There's
Yeah,
worse
that's what I mean. It's just nice in that aspect.
Oh,
So Eric might get
Okay.
a little, he might get a
No.
little butthurt about this one.
I'm
but
not, actually. I'm looking forward to it.
we mowed through that LaBelle Sit and Stay pretty quick, so we're gonna do another kind of Florida staple, Funky Buddha, Oakland Park in Lauderdale. Really, really good, interesting beer. They've gone through a transition within the last 6-8 months to where the original
Yeah.
owners actually purchased the brewery back from Constellation Brands. So some interesting stuff going on there, but they're starting to do some fun seasonal offerings. This one is their More Moro, which has a fun little label on it, but it's basically a blood orange IPA. Give that a whirl.
I remember that one. That
A little
one
more
was
ASMR.
that one was a really good one, actually. And just FYI, since we've had the conversation about Funky Buddha back in like what, November, December, I actually have drank some Funky Buddha, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually really did enjoy it. Funky Buddha is really good.
Yeah. Again, the turning point was the original owners getting back control of it again.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with some of the beers that we drank too. You know, something like this. This is fresh. You want to drink IPAs fresh. The one we've talked about it on the podcast before. I let a beer sit for a little too long, and Funky Buddha back in the day.
Stabilizers in them and shit.
Yeah, they use a lot of adjuncts and a lot of weird things in their beer, and they basically tell you not to age it. And I sat on it for about 6 months, and we tried it, and it literally hocked a loogie for us. So
It did.
The beer didn't taste bad. It was just a little weird.
That's
But
yummy. Smells phenomenal too, man. You gotta get that
Yeah, it
blood
does
orange
smell really
smell
good.
to it.
Yeah.
Or those citrus oils.
So this is a cool beer that they haven't released in a few years, or at least not outside of the brewery, out of the tap room. But got our hands on some on this side of the on this
Yeah, I
side
was
of the
gonna
state,
say
so-
because I remember buying some of that at Total Wine like years ago. Because I remember buying the 6-pack when I used to drink their beer, and yeah, it was really really delicious.
Yeah, it's good. I can't
Yeah.
remember the ABV on it. It's been a while.
It's
Let me
pretty
do
light.
some-
I think it's
let me
like
do some research
5.8
here.
or 6.0 or something, 6.2.
It's nice.
So I don't remember it being this way before, but I was looking at the color. It is definitely hazy, so it's a hazy blood orange IPA.
That might be newer because I don't ever.
I was
recall
gonna
it
say
being
I
hazy.
don't remember it being a hazy,
It's got
but
like just the right bitterness too, man. to go
7%
with the,
ABV.
Yeah, the, like,
It blends
the orange
well
flavor
with
and the
the,
bitterness. Yeah, and a
it
little
is.
spice.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
is.
that IPA bitterness goes great with spicy, I think.
What do these guys remind you of? Come on, you're a dad. You know what exactly what I'm
The
talking
little
about.
guys from Moana?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's little guys on here that they're like hops, and they have like tiki-looking masks on, and they remind me of the coconut
coconut
guys
guys,
from
yeah.
Moana. It's pretty funny.
I was gonna say, what is that? Crash Bandicoot.
I never talking about
Yeah.
that.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna need some paper towels before I dive into this.
I got
You got them all right. I'm gonna make a mess of that. Make a mess of this public
Dirty,
sandwich.
dirty man.
So I know you watched a little bit of you watched some racing yesterday. I got on a little bit. I ended up having a million projects going on yesterday, so I only caught a little bit of the Nürburgring. But
Yeah, so I saw a lot of racing yesterday, to be honest.
yeah, because you were watching Formula Drift as
I
well.
was watching Formula Drift, and I wasn't able to watch it, mostly due to the lack of devices that I can utilize.
Oh, yeah.
But there was an IMSA race going on in Detroit yesterday, too.
I didn't
Oh,
know
what?
about that.
I didn't know about that either.
Yeah, there was an IMSA race going on, too. But,
Lord.
I mean, like, the two that I really wanted to watch was one, and we did mention it on the podcast a couple weeks ago, I think, was the 24 Hours of Nürburgring.
I think we did, yeah.
Which it was crazy. It was a crazy race. I sent you guys clips of
Yeah.
a few accidents that actually happened during the 24 hours. There was a fire for an S3 or an S4 Audi.
Yeah, the little S3 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there was a couple of more accidents here and there throughout the race. But the one crazy thing that happened was like right around midnight, not midnight here in the United States, but midnight in the Nürburgring, which for those of you that don't know where the Nürburgring is, it's located in Nürburgring, Germany, I think it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there was, so right around like 11:20, 11:30, they red flagged the whole track
Oh, sure.
because of heavy, dense fog.
Really?
That
Yeah.
would be awesome to see racing, though.
Well, here's
I
the-
get where
That'd
it's
be
unsafe.
terrifying,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. Well, to witness it would be awesome, but to drive it would be.
Oh my god, terrifying.
Well, I think
Terrifying,
we've
yeah.
already established these guys have massive balls. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, well, I was going to get to that too. Like, these guys have like literally softball size fucking balls because like right before the whole track got red flagged, I sent a message to these guys and I was like, so for the Nürburgring, there's a really long straight right before the chicane that comes before the start and finish line. It was pitch black, like pitch black, and these guys are going wide open throttle
Oh yeah.
in the dark
Because that's a long
with
straight.
headlights only.
with headlights only
Yeah.
and
Well-
fog lights. But mind you, like it's like super pitch black. So like a lot of those cars, they had LED headlights.
Yeah.
And you can probably see maybe 5 to 10 feet ahead of you because
Yeah.
of how dark it was.
That's
And the
insane.
crazy thing is that the track banks left
Yeah.
before it gets to that chicane.
Well, and they're still going wide open
They are.
at that left turn too.
And it's
'cause that.
crazy. It
Yep.
is like mind blowing. So like for a lot of people that they say, oh, racing is like not very skillful or like it's just the easy, like you're just sitting in a seat and you're just, no, these motherfuckers have some big ass balls. Like
I don't know
Especially-
that I've ever met anyone that has said that, but if I did, I'd probably
Yeah.
slap them right across their face. 'cause
I have before in the past.
Listen, it takes
and-
way more balls to do that than it does to throw a football or a baseball.
Yeah.
Not saying that anybody that plays traditional sports, that's very, very tough as well. But,
Yeah.
driving cars is something else, man. I don't know if you guys saw. I'm going to change the tempo here a little bit. But I think it was the F1 race in Monaco.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that clip? And I can't remember the driver's name. There was a guy that was, I think it was before the flag happened, but there was a guy going through one of the tunnels on the right hand side.
Oh yeah, that was
And then-
Ocon and Alex Albon.
Well, did you
Were you,
see
like,
the car that
smacked
went
real quick?
around and
Yeah.
shot over to the left, and it showed the
Oh.
absolute need for their reaction speed
That-
to be
Yeah.
on point.
Yeah,
That
nuts.
was
Dude
during-
was going like 100 miles an hour and just
Yeah.
shot around a car that was barely
That was
moving. It was
impressive.
insane.
Yeah.
So being
That
able to
was-
do that, come
Yeah.
on, that's
that was
next
actually
level.
that was very impressive. But believe it or not, that was not Formula One.
I thought that was Formula
It
One.
was Formula 2, so just under.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, that's where I was. That's
But
where I was
even
mistaken.
then,
even then, I mean, that blew
Yeah.
my mind.
Yeah.
And then they showed the camera footage from the car, and it was if he waited another 10 milliseconds, I mean, it just would have.
Oh yeah, because all
Good
you see are just
God.
like on the right hand side of the car. All you see is just tunnel, car,
car,
and then he
yeah.
just
That we had the yellow flag.
So he's very slowly there in the tunnel. Whether he's having some sort of reliability issue, and that's a scary place to be behind
Oh
racing
my
speed.
goodness me.
Oh.
Well, we knew it wasn't an accident because we would have cut to it in the tunnel, but how? That's about as dangerous as it gets around Monaco. We're on board with Isaac Hadjar. You've got the LED boards. Oh my word, that was nearly horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts, man.
yeah.
Absolutely.
The Monaco Grand Prix is very iconic, but this year's race was very uneventful. Aside from
Yeah,
that
I was
one.
gonna say the top 10 never even changed pace.
Never
You
even
know,
changed positions.
So, I read a lot of comments and a lot of information about that, and a lot of people are just saying that track is so old and the cars have gotten so big that there's
And
nowhere to
that-
pass.
And that's the issue. There was an image I saw going around with cars from the 80s, cars from the early
Yeah.
2000s, and the cars now.
Oh, they're
and they've
huge.
grown 27 inches in length, and I forget, not that much, but also grown in width
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
weight.
Yep.
So literally, to your point, the track is old, and it was designed for those cars in the 80s.
Right.
Now the cars are so damn big, there's barely any spots where two cars can go side by side and pass.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
And
kinda
if they
that
do
point.
pass, it's because somebody had a mechanical failure
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
an impact.
They
or,
did or something.
Right. So it's
Bad strategy.
Yeah, it's kind of problematic. I mean, it's a cool track, beautiful area, but
Oh, yeah.
It's almost one of those things. Then it's like, what do they do? Retire the track? Do they allow people to continue driving on it just for the nostalgia's sake? I mean, that's a lot of money
well,
for nothing to happen.
From
you know
my
what I mean?
from
That's-
my understanding, I'm pretty certain that track is only used for Formula One.
yeah.
Like nobody else utilizes it for any other form of racing or
I'm pretty
any
sure
other.
it's literally just for the Grand Prix of Monaco.
Yeah,
right?
there's
I mean,
no other sanctioned races that actually utilizes that track. But regardless, like even if they don't use that track at Monaco, it's still a street course, or like it's still like actually like a public road.
Well, it's a road, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So it's part of this, and it's an old city. So
It is an old city.
Unfortunately, it's just kind of going to be the way that it's going to be. I mean,
Either keep doing it with the same results or go the way of the dodo bird and just retire it. And
yeah. 'Cause you almost want to say, all right, well, how about this, guys? Like, how about you create a special car, similar parameters and size to the OG cars, but then, all right, now you're practicing a full size on every other track, and you're going to switch cars for just that one small track. And then I instantly threw that thought out of my head because I'm like, that's just silly. Like,
yeah,
that's
it's been
just-
way expensive.
Yeah.
Way
Yeah.
expensive.
Well,
Those guys
yeah,
throw money around like
'cause-
it's their job,
That's
but-
So
That's a good point.
Just to put it into perspective, how much it'll cost just for the one race. So Sergio Perez got hit by Kevin Magnussen, I think, and completely totaled that Red Bull. The total,
I saw that. I
yeah,
saw
the
that
total
clip.
damage for that car was anywhere between $2.5 to $3 million.
I mean, I saw some of the Yahtzees guys pull up in.
Yeah, I was
they
gonna
got
say
it. They're
that,
fine.
that's
Oh, yeah.
chump
They're
change.
fine.
Yeah. But anyways, but yeah, so back to the Nürburgring race. Yeah, so, and it's really crazy because then from what they were saying at the Nürburgring or during the 24 hours of Nürburgring, they were going to greenlight the race back at 7 o'clock in the morning. So they took a 7-hour break. The clock was still running for the actual race itself, but nobody was actually on track running. And so they got back on track, and they had a pace car just leading everybody around. But they're like, yeah, the fog is still very dense. And then an hour before the race was supposed to end, they just stopped. They're like, yeah, we're just going to finish it. Like, that's how dense the fog was. And I was like, holy shit.
Wow.
So realistically, the 24 hours of Nürburgring for this year was only a 9-hour race.
That's crazy.
So, but yeah, that goes to show the crazy weather conditions that you get in Germany, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's disappointing though. I mean, that's one of those races that people wait for all year, and then to see it kind of go like that.
Right.
Like, I feel like when you think of like that kind of race, like the pinnacle of racing, like 24 Hours of Nürburgring comes to mind for me. Always the Grand Prix at Monaco comes to mind.
Yep.
Le
Mans.
Those are two of those. Yeah,
Le
Le Mans.
Mans.
Like that's those like probably the 2 or 3 like biggest races that come to mind. And it's like, man,
I think it was Le Mans de Sarthe, I think it's called.
something like that. I don't know. You can talk because I follow it, but yeah, it's like I get it, safety, this and that, but it's like, man, for the fans, it kind of sucks, and for the drivers that prep for this for for all the entire year to prep for these races, and they just kind of like, yep, sorry, you're only gonna run a third of the time. Sorry.
See, I don't know why they wouldn't just like postpone it off instead of just run the clock. You know what I mean? Sebring does the same thing though when we've been there and they have to close it for rain.
And here's the thing you gotta remember, though. We don't know about Nürburgring, but look at Sebring. 300 days a year it's booked. When do you move it to? 300 more days a year. That track is booked at Sebring for different events.
Push back the next event. You know, when you got 10,000 people, 20,000 people there, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Yeah, it is. Because, like, especially because, to Nick's point, like, so many drivers and spectators, they just anticipate this race every single year because Nürburgring to them, which I kind of wish that we can go one year, but Nürburgring to them is what Sebring is to us.
Right.
So we pretty much plan a year in advance for this race. Right. So I can imagine that people in Germany or just frequent goers of this race actually do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. It's just unfortunate, but that's racing, man.
Did you not get, bro, really?
No, I didn't get chicken tendies. I was like, these guys are going to get chicken tendies. So
Man,
I'm
I
going
am
to,
so disappointed in you.
bro, Publix has boar's head. It's like, that's their other thing that they do.
I got some head for you. I mean,
Have you never had the, oh my God. Have you never had
He's not
the
sorry, actually.
jerk chicken? Talking about that. Jerk chicken, bro. It's delicious.
something for you.
Jerk turkey? Jerk chicken.
I
Chicken.
feel like it's
Jerk.
turkey for
Jerk
some
turkey?
reason. I think I know what you're talking about.
Check something.
All right, well, we need more beer. Let's start talking about jerking and
Yeah.
boar's
Oh,
head.
big boy.
All right, so this is another fun one. You guys have never had Anchor Lab.
I don't think I have actually. No.
So they're out of Naples. Probably the most prevalent brewery in Naples at this point. This turtle season is their flagship, their New England IPA. It's literally everywhere on tap, anywhere you go in Naples for the most part. For good reason. You guys are about to find out. So 6.5% ABV. I will say drinking it out of a can does not hold a candle to drinking it on draft, but
I feel like it's like that with any beer.
for the most part,
Yeah.
draft is definitely way better. You know, pretty soon Nick will be able to get a keg for his cooler up here, which will be
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah. I can actually attest to like the tap being a lot better because when I went to Wicked Weed and I had the milk and cookie stout fresh on tap, like literally like
yeah.
it was fresh on tap compared to in the can. Oh
Right.
my god, man, on tap was so much more
That's good
flavorful.
too, man. It's nice and light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's delicious, dangerously delicious.
Oh yeah.
It's
that's
time for this
actually-
Florida man sandwich.
That is really good. Half Florida man sandwich.
No, but yeah, I bought a whole one. I'm just gonna get half right now, but no, that's real good. So was that like 6.5%?
Super citrusy, doesn't have a lot of like lingering alpha acid, which
Yeah,
gives you
no.
that like bitter
Yeah.
kind of throat burn and hoppy flavor.
No, I mean it just finishes off so clean and smooth, and it's just like there's nothing there. Don't get that bitterness, that bite, or anything like that.
Not gonna lie, this slaps with the sandwich too. This is good.
Like using his millennial or even Gen
Slaps.
Z slang.
Listen, bro, you
I
gotta.
thought, you sure it's not bussing?
He's fun and blessed.
Yeah, right. sub's about to, man. The way Mike deep throats that thing. Holy shit.
I'm hungry, bro.
I feel like that's what I'm sitting there. I'm munching on these damn chicken bites here, the popcorn chicken.
Yeah.
But
It is a really good beer, though. It's actually it is very, very light. That's one thing that is very surprising.
Yeah, I hope to do a podcast soon at their brewery. It's a little bit of a jog from here, sitting in Cape Coral, where we're at right now, but definitely
We're game, man.
worth the drive.
oh, I'm sure. Especially nice to hear about them growing as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
always, even when it's one I haven't been to yet, it's always just nice to hear about a local business
Right.
Doing
that
really
makes
good.
something that I enjoy
Yeah.
growing and doing well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, we got our friends over at number 3 that are growing. We got these breweries that are growing. It's
It's a good year.
Well,
2024 is a good year.
and that's another Florida thing right now, honestly. I mean, there's a lot of growth going on just about everywhere.
Yep.
Whether it's good or bad, we'll see in a couple more years.
Actually,
With the way the housing market and whatnot's going,
yeah,
but
that's a major problem.
actually today, I think today is a very sad day for one location.
Was last night our last night?
I think tonight's their last
Tonight's
night.
the last night?
what's
Yeah,
that?
Gary
G's?
G's. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife was just saying, we got to go up there, here soon. She was just saying it this week. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, I think it's too late already.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Because if we weren't doing this, I probably would have made that trip up there today. But since my last visit did not go quite to plan, the Bronco decided to drive to the side of the building.
Stupid Broncos. No offense to your wife.
It wasn't my
That's
wife, so it's okay.
All right. Well, this brings up one of the points we wanted to talk about. Why don't we just segue right into since this is the Florida Man special? What, in your opinion, is the most not dubious, but like I guess I'm struggling to grasp the term here. What is the most Florida Man / woman passenger vehicle? Something that is ubiquitous to Florida Man.
As soon as you said woman, I just instantly thought of Baby Mama.
Well,
because I know you know where I was going to go with it.
I feel like
Yeah.
But
know
I
where you're gonna go.
have a second one.
Okay.
I did.
So
I
I'll
did
let
too.
you call out the sedan I think you're thinking of. But we're talking about passenger vehicles. For
I mean,
me,
just a
Oh,
vehicle.
you and I might have the
for me,
same
one
thought
of the most
process.
annoying things, and you may be more specific to it, is just the general amount of ruined lifted trucks that are pavement princesses that every little rich mommy and daddy boy girl just fucking driving around with just these, again, useless lifts with stupid skinny tires on them. You can't actually use it as a truck. You can't tow with it anymore. You've destroyed the towing capacity. You can't even get a hitch up. You can't even hook a trailer
Right.
to it. You're not doing a fifth wheel. You're not off-roading because you got skinny street tires on it. Like, to me, that's probably the most annoying vehicle that is on the road here in
Yeah.
Florida. That's very prevalent in our area because there's some money down here and a bunch of little rich kids with daddy's money. Or that's all they do is put all their money in their truck.
Right. Yeah.
And to the point where you can't even call it a truck anymore. Not a useful one, at least.
Yep.
But, yeah, I mean, the other one, I have a pretty good feeling what you guys are also going to bring up. So I'll let you guys talk about that one, too, because I've shared my thoughts on that obnoxious.
Nissan Altima. That is as Florida as it gets. There's a reason people talk about Nissan Altimas the way that they do. I was also going to say the lifted trucks, but just I would say we've bashed Nissan a lot on this channel.
We have.
Do
better, Nissan.
For good reason. There's a lot of people that gravitate towards those cars, and it shows because there's not basically a body panel that's clean on just about any Altima you see out.
Yeah.
And then this also splashes over to Sentras and Muranos and some of the other Nissans that are out there as well.
Maximas.
Like
the
Maximas.
the
so-
Murano is the new Buick Enclave, I think. For the third row,
right.
wannabe bougie clapped out ghetto car. It's now the Murano, I believe.
Golly.
Oh, okay.
Yep, they're everywhere. But yeah, the lifted trucks was going to be my backup because I agree with that. Eric, did we nail both of them?
No, actually, I've got two. One of them is more just in general, but one thing that I feel like a lot of people feel like is a Florida thing to do with a car is get a convertible. When realistically, convertibles are not ideal to drive here.
No.
The main reason is
I can attest to that.
he can. when you drop the top and you leave it parked outside in a parking lot, when you go back outside and you sit in it, your ass is gonna burn.
Yeah. Let alone if you have a metal shift knob.
Yeah. Oh my God, titanium shift knob. So that was.
Not only that, but like even when you have a convertible with the top up and it sits in the sun all day, those things get so hot because there's no insulation above
the
your head.
top's uninsulated.
Yeah.
And almost
Broncos.
90% are black tops.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's got that. It's kind of similar problem.
Broncos are tough, man. It's
But she rarely complains about it because I mean, thankfully it's modern and it's got an auto starter, so she can cool it down a little bit. But for me, it's just I had that Miata and whatnot too, and been in Mike's plenty of times. It's just when you're driving in the middle of summer, the sun's actively trying to kill you while you're driving.
Yeah.
I always talk
there's
about
just
this.
no cooling it down.
I always talk about Florida in the summer is that level in Mario where the sun's trying to kill him.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are Mario, and the sun's trying to kill us. Like that is just it. Whether you're on your foot, whether you're in a convertible, and yeah, it's brutal. it's brutally unpleasant.
Yeah. The second one that comes to mind, and we see these a lot, especially during the summertime. Polaris slingshots.
Oh, you know what though?
With the
That's
speakers.
That's fair.
Big ass speakers hanging outside of them, blasting whatever.
So
Yeah.
funny story about that. My wife actually rented one of those for me for my birthday.
we have a
She's
little
really
fun
she's really good at thoughtful birthday gifts.
She is.
Shout out to my wife for that. It was fun. It's got basically a bike engine in it, so it revs out pretty high. It was fun to drive, but yeah, the people that you see driving those things at 1 o'clock in the afternoon with sun blazing, no air conditioning, speakers blaring, gaudy wheels. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to prove? But that's a good one. I saw one the other day, and there's two people, and the lady was like super pasty, pasty white lady. Leg up on the side. I'm like, man, you are going to fry. I don't know if they were on their way to the beach or what, but like, oh my
It was gonna
god,
be a rough day for her.
absolutely.
Turn into a
There's
lobster.
another one that comes to mind, and it's because they're mostly owned by old guys that drive slow everywhere they go. Yes, Eric, I'll get claw. And man, Corvettes. And
There
there
are
are
a lot
no
of
old people
Corvettes
that
out
drive them. You're an anomaly. You're an anomaly.
Yeah,
But
you
Fair
drive like an
enough.
asshole. So.
Oh,
I had to
dude.
call that one out just because you're sitting right here next to me. But they're really not that bad.
Oh man.
It kind of is true,
Yeah.
especially like the C8s.
Oh yeah.
That's
When you
become
see a new C8,
like
like
a pandemic in
I
here.
obviously, you guys spend the majority of your time in Fort Myers, like Cape Coral. I go to Naples a lot, all the time. I see a badass car, including like this new Corvette C8s, and you pull up next to it, thinking like, oh man, just want to hear this guy get on it, just rip on this thing a little bit. Dude's probably 70 years old, on his way to go a chiropractor appointment or something, like just
That's
on
what
his
I'm
way to a
telling-
doctor's
They're gonna
office.
tell me
Like,
to get rid of that car because it's damaging his back.
yeah, I'm like, man, come on. It is true though. There are a lot of Corvettes down here.
Mostly
not all
convertibles.
of them know how to drive them like Eric does.
A lot are drop tops of some sort.
Yep.
Yeah,
But-
that's true.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, we have a weird hodgepodge of vehicles that have potential but are nuisances because of the owners.
Oh yeah.
And that's the problem. At the end of the day, it's not the car as much as it's
No.
the owner.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
The
100%.
Nissans are clapped out based on
Well,
build quality, but everything else.
And
is the owner.
I will say that there are. You talk about genres of cars. There are one that's just like taking over, and everybody knows it. You can look at every manufacturer. It's just SUVs in general. Everyone on the road has got an SUV. They make small crossover ones all the way up to large.
Yeah.
And it's just you see less and less sedans, hatchbacks, things like that, and everybody just has an SUV now.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, to your point, when you both first met me and my wife, she had her little Mazda B3. I had my Audi A4. I bumped up to an Audi A6. I forced her into a Tucson because we had a kid now. And then after the Tucson, we went to the next step to the Santa Fe and went bigger. And after the Santa Fe, she went to a Bronco, full-size Bronco. And I went from the Audi to a Santa Fe SUV myself. And then what did I go to from there? I'm like losing track after that. Then I went to my Genesis. I dropped back
that was
down.
the Genesis. Yeah.
And then what I do? Then I went crazy, and I went freaking third row SUV with the Explorer. And then Howie haven't mentioned this yet. This morning and last night I'm actually stocking out my Explorer right now because
Shocker.
most likely next week I will be in a big ass expedition. going even bigger, most likely.
You're worse than Carmelo now at this point.
Somebody's got to show me how it's done. He bought a Nissan. I'm buying American.
I know, and he's kept that thing longer than I would have expected he would, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I'm not going to lie.
yeah, and I think it's because just the way he did it, and it fits his need. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's Carmelo's problem, is he was doing the fun car, and he kept trying to do fun car after fun car, different things, kind of, what was the flavor this year kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think this time on the Frontier, it's a nice little Pro 4X. It's a solid truck. It's one of the few things that Nissan makes that's actually a legit solid vehicle to buy, is the Frontier. It fits his need. You know, he's got his other vehicle for work, and then he can pull things, the Frontier, load it up. I mean, like, he's not with us today. He wanted to be, but he's redoing the floors in his house. And he's got a truck to do. He can pull a trailer and do whatever he wants. So I think that's the reason that it actually fits a need for him, and there's no reason
Honestly,
to rush out of it.
that's one of the reasons why I haven't bought a truck. Because as of right now, there are a handful of times a year where I'm like, man, I really wish I had a truck to do this, or go pick this thing up, or do a Home Depot run and fill the thing with mulch. But if I had one, I would find way more uses for it than I think I would.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, if I got a Tacoma, because I've thought about getting a Tacoma or a ZR2 or, you know, something along those lines, Ford
Yeah.
Ranger. But, like, I don't want to do it because I feel like once I do, I'm going to be like, man, this thing is useful as hell. And then I'm just going to be stuck getting trucks.
There's another problem with these, right? And we were actually talking about this at work. Obviously, we've discussed this. I'm a sales manager for a Ford dealership. And, like, there's 4 of us yesterday, 4 sales managers all sitting together talking about this. And right outside of our window from where our little sales tower is, where we all sit, our computers are, we had this Ford Ranger, a nice Lariat with, I want to say, an FX4 off-road package, you know, like the simple stuff, the skid plates and all that kind of stuff. So, but a Lariat, so it's basically loaded up. $52,000
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
for a not full-size truck, not an F-150.
Right.
52 G's. Like, the Raptor's not much more expensive than that. The Raptor at the upper 50s kind of makes sense. It's a badass little truck. But 52 for just a kind of a cushy Ranger, that your typical person's going to be one of our old people down here is going to buy it and not use it as a truck. But like we were just talking about, like, everything's getting so insane in that market. I mean, no different from the SUVs, you know. You and I were talking earlier. The Expedition I'm looking at is almost 80
got a
grand
lot
for
of
an
beer.
Expedition. Like, it's just nuts.
Yeah. I mean, that's everything.
Yeah.
I feel like everything is just
Yeah.
insane at the moment.
Yeah, it's getting out of
But-
control. But the problem is, things always go up. They never come down. You know,
True.
gas is one thing, but something
true.
that's a want more than is a need, they don't come down.
Why cut back on your prices when people are already currently paying for higher ones?
Well, and the thing is, everybody thinks, oh, the dealer's just doing better and better. It's like, no, actually, the cost has gone up for the manufacturer. They passed that on to us with even shorter margins than we ever had before. So it's like, it just gets worse for us, too. As they get more expensive, we get kind of more questionable. Oh.
Okay.
Talked about it on the podcast. Figured
For
it'd
a second, I thought
figured
about
it'd be
holy
worth
for a
it.
second. I got really excited.
So we've been drinking hoppy beers. We're gonna go take a jaunt from Naples up to Tampa. This is Coppertail Night Swim. It is a porter. I know we've talked about this on the podcast. I think I might have had a Coppertail beer here or there, but this is honestly one of my favorites.
I've definitely had Unholy on the podcast.
Yeah, you've had Unholy because you honestly keep a keg of it pretty regularly.
That's probably my next one, actually.
Awesome beer.
Yeah.
Super awesome Belgian triple. This being a porter, it's roasty. You know, it's got a little bit of like chocolate coffee notes, but that's literally just because of the malt that they use. But really awesome beer. So
Took an interesting jump. We went from LaBelle to Fort Lauderdale to Naples
to Tampa.
to Tampa
Yeah,
to.
and Tampa.
Oh, are they in Tampa too?
Yep.
Oh, that's
So-
right, Cigar City. Cigar
Cigar
City,
City.
man. Do they still make cider?
Yeah, they do.
Oh man, their cider is so good.
Cigar City is not necessarily arguably. They are basically the first brewery in Florida, arguably, to put Florida on the map for craft beer. They've been doing it a long time.
Oh, that's good.
Back in the 90s when they first opened, High Lie was one of the first beers that really took off, which was their IPA. You know, and they kind of were the first ones to really do it and do it right with distribution. They got statewide distro, and then High Lie became kind of an anomaly outside of the state. People clamored over it. People wanted it. They do some other really cool beers. Probably about 10, 12 years ago, they started doing cider and mead.
Yeah.
So they have their own cider and mead. Down here, I think we get.
We get some of their
I can't
stuff.
remember which cider you see all the time, but there's one cider that you see kind of all over the place, for like massive distro. But this beer that we're gonna dip into probably next is their Hunapoo, which anybody watching this that's a craft beer person in the state, you understand what Hunapoo is. It's basically a giant beer fest that Cigar City has been putting on for years. And if you pay for the VIP package for Hunapoo, or I can't remember what they call it, I don't know if it's VIP necessarily, but it's got a price point to it. You get VIP access to the fest, all this stuff, and you normally get a bottle of Hunapoo to take home with you, which is basically a imperial stout that they do every single year. And it was coveted to the point where people would, take their bottle and sell it online for hundreds of dollars, make big returns on it. So pretty cool. I can't remember what year this is. I'm not gonna lie, this has been chilling for a while. 2016. March 12th, 2016. So this thing is going to be
6 years old.
Pretty banging. 6. It's 6.
2016.
It's 2024, my friend.
Oh shit, 8 years. 8 years. Wow.
Yeah. Either way.
The math isn't mathing
8-year-old
right now.
Imperial Stout.
Eric's not allowed to keep our books or do math here.
Yeah.
I mean,
The math
separate
isn't
that.
mathing right now.
We haven't even gotten into the bourbon yet.
We
I know,
haven't,
I know.
no.
I feel like with Cigar City,
I'm fine, actually.
I think Cigar City, specifically the High Line, man, that's got to be one of the first IPAs really nationally accepted. Because like when I was still in Jersey, that shit made it up to there. Like IPA wasn't like a thing you heard a lot of people doing. Like back in the day, you had like Stone was what really first got me into it.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
High Line was
Probably
in the game,
Stones
like,
here in Nevada.
Well, you had Stone, you had Sierra Nevada, you had, breweries from California for whatever reason have been doing it longer than everybody else.
Yeah.
But
because they're already bitter people, so they just figured they could beer.
Highlight was the first Florida beer to really branch out to other states.
Yeah.
Florida adopted a lot of other beers over the years. We got distro of other stuff throughout the country all the time, but
Still
that
missing
was
a
the
lot.
first one to really go the other direction.
So would you say High Line's got to be their top seller?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And the sad thing is, and maybe there's a purist watching this that knows more than I do about it, but Cigar City was bought. They sold off just like a lot of other large breweries do. Were owned by Canarchy, which essentially now is Monster Energy. Monster Energy owns Cigar City Brewing Company. So, weirdly enough, they sold their tap room up in Tampa, but I know a lot of the beers that you get in distro down here, specifically High Life, is not even brewed in the state anymore.
Really?
So,
That's
it's
interesting.
being brewed at one of their Canarchy Monster Energy facilities, and then they
Do they slip
it
a
out
little
for
bit of
distro.
Monster on
a
the
little bit of Kyle in every
High
single
Life?
one, just
Yeah.
to
It's like you want to crank up the high and the high lie and pour a little bit of Monster in there. Oh man.
It is a shame to see so much of their business being done, so to speak, outside of the state. But I mean, hey, is that not the American dream? Build something so great, someone wants to pay you a shit ton of money to buy it.
That's
from
how
you?
it works.
Like,
Actually, we recently heard of a brewery here locally. We've drank a lot of their beer on the podcast, but Corporate Ladder, they're now brewing some of their beers in the Carolinas.
yeah, that's where they're brewing a lot of their normal stuff, is my understanding.
Yeah.
You gotta think for most breweries, when you get to a point where the demand is exceeding the supply, you don't have the ability to necessarily expand where your current brewery is.
Yeah.
Then you start contract brewing, you start moving out, right? But to Nick's point, there are a lot of super craft beer nerds out there that just get really offended by a brewery selling out to a larger company or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But to your point, it's the American dream. These people make these breweries for a passion. And there are some, like Dave from Tampa Bay Brewing Company. I don't know that guy will ever sell because he's so passionate about what he does. But then there are others that are just like, we've done what we wanted to do with it. We've kind of proven the point. I'm going to sell out, and now I can live comfortably for the rest of my life and whatever.
Like, generally, I think one of the hardest things to do, it's one thing to go to school for something and then get out of school and make money in your career. It's another thing to take your passion that may just simply be a hobby and put all your bets on that and somehow turn it into a profitable endeavor. And then for somebody to see your passion and value it that highly, like, you can't tell me that doesn't feel absolutely amazing. It doesn't make you feel like you're on top of the world.
Yeah.
And you've taken a hobby and a passion of love. And
Well, it's just like anything else, you know.
Yeah.
These guys wanna make money. That's the whole point.
Yeah, there's actually one brewery that really comes to mind now that you made the comment that like purists are gonna like they end up hating specific places because they sell out.
Which I get. You know, I understand it to a point.
I mean, we just spoke about one that bothered us when they sold out and things went bad. So
Well, they're one of them,
that was a
but
quality issue that kind of pissed us
it
off.
was.
Well, you know, it's funny, but the quality issue that we talked about earlier, that was before they were bought.
Yeah. Well, this
that is
was
true,
yeah.
You know?
But the one that comes to mind is one that was actually it's not here in Florida. It's actually up in the Carolinas. But Wicked Weed, they make good beer, and people don't hate the beer. They just hate the ownership. Which now, don't quote me on this. You're gonna correct me on this. I think Anheuser-Busch actually owns Wicked Weed. Mm-hmm. So people hate that the fact that in the Carolinas, a lot of people up there, they love everything to just kind of stay within the Carolinas. Like they don't like obviously there's franchises up there and things like that, but and actually there's a Publix up there too. There's multiple, but just the ownership, like they would rather have somebody local to North Carolina to actually be the owner of that place, but Anheuser-Busch owns them.
I do get that. And the Anheuser-Busch thing for a while there, they were snapping people up really fast. And unfortunately, I think they were also making changes in the quality of some of those were going down. Now, I think lately that's not the case. Because for a while there, every time they bought something, I'm like, well, shit, there goes that. I'm not drinking that shit in the future anymore.
They have not acquired a brewery for many years
I
now.
was going to say, it seems like it's been a while.
It's been at least 5 years.
It seems
pretty
like
much.
now, though, when they do pick somebody up or when they were picking people up, they've kind of realized, you know what, they need to leave those people in place to run it.
Right.
And let them do what they got to do.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what they did with Wicked Weed.
Yeah.
So I think they learned from some of their other endeavors, like Blue Point and Goose Island, and
Goose Island was
some
one
of
of
the
the ones that
some
got
of the
a little
other
screwy.
some of the other brands, you know, that they realized like, hey, we got to have you guys still run the show. We're obviously we're gonna own it. We're gonna fund the money to, and honestly, they brought distribution to a whole new game for them.
And that's that's what they're good at. They're good at mass producing Budweiser products that are
and
always going to sell.
it's consistency
and
too.
They're good at distribution. They're good
Like,
at getting it out there.
I don't care what anybody says about Bud Light. I don't care what anybody says about Michelob Ultra or Miller Lite or Coors Light or any of those like American domestic light beers.
Yeah.
You know, the consistency that is required for them to brew on such a large scale like that.
Yeah.
For if you have,
it's impressive.
If you have a Bud Light in Wyoming or you have a Bud Light in New York or you have one in Texas or California or sitting right here in Cape Coral in Florida, that Bud Light's going to taste exactly the same. Mm-hmm. That is a huge endeavor. You know, one that most craft breweries would never be able to do.
Oh,
so.
no. Well, we kind of saw that years ago but I'm not gonna name the brewery, but you're gonna know. But as soon as they changed distributors and they had to mass produce, the beer quality tanked.
It works that way too.
Yeah.
You know, and something can be said about craft beer in general because we do a lot of craft beer on this show. You know, there's almost something romantic about a little bit of inconsistency, right?
Yeah.
Every time you drink an IPA from a brewery, it's going to taste pretty damn close, but there might be some subtle changes here or there. I am not a good candidate for that because I can't pinpoint flavor profiles.
Your
as
palate
good.
isn't as sensitive to
I'm not
notice.
a level 3 Cicerone. I'm not. Sorry.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's...
Cicerone.
Cicerone. That's, you know.
But you know what? I can respect that and I understand that. And I expect some inconsistencies because, you know what? I know that there's an actual person doing this. And maybe he puts one less scoop this time in by accident and something else and this and that. But I know there's a real live person that's not a robot or a machine physically dumping the bag of grain in, you know, and physically stirring the mash. Like, I know that there's human error that's going to go into that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I'm okay supporting that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm totally okay supporting that. You know, and I give you a hard time all the time, man. Sebring this year, I was enjoying just crushing some Busch Lights. I was at the point where I was like, you know what, these aren't that bad. I'm just fucking down in Busch Lights. Like, there's
a time and a place for
exactly, there's a time and a place. And, for me, it just wasn't...
when you're drinking like a fish at... When you're drinking like a fish in Sebring.
Chill it back down for
Oh, okay.
Are we cracking open the bourbon?
Yeah, why not?
We could segue into some bourbon here. With our fancy etch glasses.
All right, so why don't we talk about one of our other kind of, while Eric's pouring this bad boy up, Publix edition.
Yes.
talking about Florida breweries, right? It's Florida Man Special. What, in your opinion, what is your favorite brewery? And it could be for whatever reason you want. It could be their beers are phenomenal. They've got a really good imperial stout that you like. It could be that the tap room is amazing. It could be that the bartender you met there was awesome. Like whatever the case may be. And I know this is kind of subjective because I doubt either of you, including myself in this, have been to every single brewery in the state of Florida. So,
There's too many.
there's too many.
We're gonna have a real tough time taking my downpipes off with the kind of pour you're doing there, buddy.
Yeah, that's a 3-finger right there.
That's fine.
That's my nightcap pour right there. But I drink some bourbon, but
Full send, bro. I was trying to make them more consistent, and the first pour was a little high, and I was like, screw it. Let me send it.
All right.
Dude, that's a tough question, honestly.
I know, it is.
I haven't been to as many breweries as you, but I've had a really good chance of checking some out on both coasts, going a little bit farther north.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, there's like every brewery that I can think of. There's at least one beer I really like, and then there's some that have really cool tap rooms. There's others that have, really cool just ambiance, and it's. I might need a second. Kind of rack my brain. I mean, this is
because here's the thing. We've drank beer from Cigar City, from Tampa Bay Brewing Company, Magnanimous, Garagiste, if you want to put them in that category. Who else? Corporate Ladder, Big Top. And these are like the big guys that we've gone to, right?
And,
but
and this is a very engaging question because, for instance, I love Corporate Ladder. Their beer's really good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if it's actual beer.
And that's
true.
Some of their dessert style beers are it's delicious. And whatever it is that they're putting in there is amazing. But it's really questionable if it's actually beer. But I can say that their tap room leaves some to be desired.
That's pretty good.
It's a real basic tap room.
Yeah.
Doesn't fit very many people. Yeah. There's not a lot of ambiance. There's not much to look at. It's in a parking lot type thing. It's strip mall. So it's twofold. They've got really good, awesome beers, and you can go in there and have a flight, and everything you try is amazing. But you're sitting in kind of a strip mall.
But also, to comparison to Corporate Ladder, I want to bring somebody up that I've or a brewery that I've gone to that's even smaller than Corporate Ladder, which is King Fox. I've tried King Fox down in Hialeah, Florida, and holy shit, these guys have really, really good beers. And their tap room is maybe a 30 by 30 freaking office.
Yeah, and we've got a place like that right here. Point of Bell. Phenomenal
That's true.
beer.
Yeah,
Tiny
Point of Bell's another perfect example of that.
Phenomenal beer.
Now, I will say their tap room's small, but it's got some ambiance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like you're in kind of like an old Florida seaside kind of town. You got the big tarpons up on the wall. Yeah, it's small. It's in a strip mall, but it's got ambiance once you're sitting inside there. And shout out to Jordan. Their beer's awesome.
Different things you have the favorites of, the favorite tap room look or this or that, and I don't know that one brewery does it for me. I think I always think Magnanimous. It's an old church. It's kind of cool looking. You come in with the
one in Tampa, right?
Like that. Yeah, the one in Tampa.
Because they have one in Bradenton.
Right next to Garagiste. Yeah, I haven't been to that one yet. But then, dude, one of the coolest ones to me that also makes great beer is LaBelle Brewing Company.
Yeah.
That's a badass tap
Beautiful
room,
tap room.
restaurant. I mean, the artwork, the driftwood thing they've got going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
They have
It's
the
beautiful.
outdoor thing for the kids and the play area and stuff. And the outdoor seating, plus the upstairs that we were hanging out in for our podcast there. That's a pretty recent build, but it was a purpose built for that place, and it's beautiful. It's a really awesome setup in what some people say the middle of nowhere because it's way out in LaBelle.
Yeah, it is.
But it's packed every time I've been there.
Yeah.
But
that is a beautiful brewery.
It's a really nice one.
It's tough for a little guy. It's impressive. I know the family's got some money, they've been around for a long time. But for what's considered a little guy in the brewery, they're probably one of the more impressive ones for me, just for everything going on. Every beer I tried was great. The ambiance there was great. When we went back that one day to meet some other friends, and we had my kids with me, they were having a blast playing around and stuff like that. So I think all in all, well-rounded. I'd actually call out LaBelle as probably one of my top Florida breweries.
That's a good one.
For well-rounded, and they're local. which
Right.
is even better.
They're great. I would definitely put them up there, especially for the location because they're like 20 minutes away from my house, and I
really
should go there more often than what I'm not.
Your bank account says otherwise.
Yeah, because I just love drinking beer and
20
eating
minutes
food.
away?
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah, they're like 20
We
minutes.
know you can get
Yeah,
there in like
you got there
10.
faster last time.
Yeah,
for
well,
sure.
yeah. Anyways, but to Nick's point, kind of saying that like the having a very beautiful like ambience in tap room and like just man, I can't choose one because like there's so many breweries that I've
It's
gone
tough.
to.
It's really
yeah,
tough.
it is tough because like I've gone to, and actually you've been there too. I've gone to Funky Buddha. Actually, we've all gone to Funky Buddha.
Funky Buddha's an
Funky
awesome
Buddha
brewery. It's
is an
freaking
awesome
huge.
brewery. Yeah,
It
It's
is
huge.
awesome. I mean, the whole back room with the kitchen
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like,
that one. You guys haven't gone there, but Spanish Marie is another really good place. That's freaking awesome.
I went.
Oh, that's right. You and I went.
So-
yeah,
Drove
yeah.
all the way out
I'm
with my
not-
wife to say she was disappointed in the beer that she wanted to try.
Yeah.
So thinking about talking about Funky Buddha.
I have one more too, by the way.
So I'm just gonna interject on the Funky Buddha part. I went there for their anniversary party. It was now 2 years ago. It was like in the summertime. It was like June, July. That place is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also amazing the way that they did their party. So the
yeah.
front, like the front part that you know where the bar is their
Yeah,
the main
the
tap
main-
room,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Then you've got that little private kind of room behind that you
Yeah.
can go and sit in like
And
for
you got
private
that
functions
hallway
and stuff.
that-
But then all the way in the back,
Yeah.
they've got their barrel room where they're basically barrel aging
yeah.
all their stuff. So every single side of the room is covered in barrels that have beer sitting in them.
I don't know if I've been
Well,
there.
for their anniversary party, they did like a function where you know, because of my position, got to go there and hang out there for the for their anniversary party. It was amazing. They like had food catered, so there was food stations all over the place. They were doing food pairings with beer. They had jockey boxes set up, pouring all kinds of crazy imperial stouts and ridiculous IPAs. That was probably one of the coolest like events that I've been to
Yeah.
at a brewery. You know, specific to them, it wasn't like a beer fest or anything like that. Tampa Bay does a really good beer fest
Yeah.
up there for their badass beer fest. They pull in some really awesome breweries.
Yeah.
I would have to say overall quality of beer, quality of the actual tap room, Coppertail. Coppertail is a really, really cool brewery, in my opinion. They're now granted, to your point, there are lots of others that I should be putting
I've
on this
only,
list, but
unfortunately, had the opportunity to spend 10 minutes there, if even, because we
So
stayed
it's-
in an
it's cool.
apartment, Airbnb, right across the street. We could see down from our balcony because we went to Tampa for a concert, for the Avenged concert.
right, it's right down the road. Yeah.
So before we went, we had our Uber pick us up there. We ran downstairs real quick, got over
Yeah.
there. I got me a nice Unholy on draft. We downed our beers.
Nice.
And that was it. We were out. But it was beautiful, but I spent less than 10 minutes there. It was unfortunate. And then we never
Yeah.
made it back.
It's
because,
just,
like,
you know, it's a really old building, just like
Yeah.
anything else in Tampa,
And I
really.
like
It's
that.
been reconditioned. You know,
Like,
the tap room's
Magnus
2
with
stories. They've got
the
this
old-
giant copper wall, like
Yeah,
there
that
with
was
the
cool.
mural and
Yeah,
stuff.
Shit, nice.
And then, you know, when you're at the tap room, you get to try a lot of their really awesome other beer. Like we
Yeah.
just had Night Swim, but they actually do a beer called Day Swim, which is essentially the same beer,
yeah,
but it's
yeah.
treated with like vanilla and cocoa nibs and stuff like that. It's amazing. But
I don't think I've had that one.
I
it's
think it's
really
the same
good.
can design, but I think it's white, right?
You can't. They don't can it usually.
Oh, usually they
it's
don't?
it's usually just on draft.
I know
but-
that I've drank Day Swim
amazing.
before. I've tried it before.
Yeah, next
really
next
good.
time I do a Mid
Yeah.
Florida amphitheater concert, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to actually plan to go there
go
for like
there.
30 minutes, check the place out, have a couple of beers.
Green Bench is another one up there though. That's since you know
Yeah.
I've never
up in
never
St.
had a
Pete,
chance
but
to get to.
Green Bench is another ridiculously awesome brewery.
Yeah.
I think I appreciate some of the smaller, more cramped ones, which LaBelle is not, but one of the ones too that I know I've been to, I don't know if you've been to, but in the Miami area over there was Invasive Species.
I have not.
You
No.
literally are drinking in their brew
Right.
room. Like it's
Yeah.
this tiny ass little thing, and there's all the bright tanks running all down behind you, and they got a few high tops,
Yeah.
and, a bar, and that is it. And then to your point, all like the taxidermy animals, the Florida
Yeah, yeah,
wildlife taxidermy
Yeah.
all around the place. I mean, for me, it's almost more about how I feel when I'm there than the beers even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
I feel like honestly for me, one of my favorite breweries. I'm pretty certain I've drank a few of their beers on the podcast, but it's actually Tripping Animals. Tripping
Animals has some
Animals,
really good beer.
they have one. Yes, they have phenomenal beer, and two, like their actual tap room, awesome. probably by far one of my favorite tap rooms that I've actually ever been to, because like you walk in, the bar is like right in front of you, and they have like a bunch of tables and chairs on the side. They have couches, and then they have like a back area where they have like picnic tables that you can sit at. They have like their own little like kitchen area where like you can actually like eat, like order and eat food. They have like a little storefront where you can actually pick up beer and pick up some of their merchandise. So, and the crazy thing is that with Tripping Animals, the type of beer that they mostly make has probably by far been one of my least favorite style of beers, and I actually really enjoy their beer, which is sours.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's weird because like I really tolerate their sours, but if there's only one other brewery that I've actually tolerated their sours, and it was oh my god, Pony Bell. Pony Bell did one like maybe 10, 12 years ago that was called The Point of Interest. I still remember the name of that beer.
The catalyst for my wife, one of those way back.
Oh my god, dude, it was so good.
They also did one called I think it was Colliding Galaxies. So that was another one that was.
Want to do a comparison? Is that what you're trying to do?
So I honestly assumed this was going to taste so similar, but upon my first sip, I'm like, holy shit, this actually tastes different than just your normal Woodford. I'm like, well, I always have Woodford on hand. I think we talked about having, basically tasting them side by side. Unfortunately, all I've got that matches are my little Ferretti shot glasses from a delicious biscotti liqueur. If you ever looking for something funky. But yeah, I was like, man,
Was that one of those Total Wine holiday bundles that are usually really cheap, like around?
These are back from my Jersey days.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
These have traveled
Nice.
15 years ago down to here.
That's awesome.
I don't know. This smells really freaking good though, and it tastes really good too.
You gave him a hard time about the size of the pour of his, and then you're gonna give us more Woodford.
Less than a shot apiece.
This guy.
We're gonna get real Florida man up in here.
Kind of okay with that. Let's send it, boys.
The big boy. I'm not saying just down it, but I'm just saying, like, take a sip.
As long as you're cool with me taking a nap on your couch.
Because I'm curious. Well, you can do that while I'm working on the car. You hear just the torque wrench every now and then.
Well, already there's like a difference in the smell.
It doesn't help that we're in a smaller glass, so you can't really.
This is more. It's more. I don't know. It's more smoky. I almost get like a little bit more like vanilla out of the Publix.
I get the smokiness.
It's smoky and a little sweeter
on the nose, and again to point out, the normal Woodford is their blend. The Publix one is Woodford. However,
it's a select
people
blend.
from Publix actually chose the barrels to blend specifically from different batches. So there are going to be different profiles. But that's the first thing. The nose is way more subtle on the standard Woodford. Definitely
sweeter,
smokier, and I pick up some more spice in the nose on the Publix variety.
I sense a little bit of sweetness in there too, like just in the smell.
Yeah, there's just something. One of you guys said it too. There's almost like a vanilla in the Publix one. That's just I do pick up.
Yeah, it's got some sweetness in the aroma. It's good. I like it. I like it.
They're the same brand, but they are noticeably different. What's crazy is, as more aggressive almost up front as the Publix blend is, smokier on the nose, smokier to the taste, a bit more of that sweet vanilla flavor and smell to it. It finishes really smooth.
Yeah.
This one, the normal Woodford starts smooth, but finishes a little harsher.
A little harsher. Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's
I mean, honestly, the biggest letdown to me is just they could have gone a little more interesting on the label.
Yeah.
I mean, it's personally selected by it, and it just like literally in like the most basic font, Publix.
Yeah.
Woodford does
really good. I mean, I
don't do it often. It's dirty as shit, but Woodford does change it up. Now these are specifically
right.
Just so everybody else can see too. They do make different labels. Kentucky Derby special labels and stuff. So
they have the ability to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like with the Kentucky Derby, it's like you're gonna want to put like a very interesting labeling on it.
Yeah, I mean it's a big deal.
I don't know if it's like a different blend or style of bourbon.
I think it's more so it's a special. They do a special label.
Just the art,
right?
Mostly the artwork, because they are the official bourbon of the Kentucky Derby.
Go
So
figure.
that's a big
It's
deal for them.
Kentucky Bourbon.
Yeah,
Or
so
bourbon.
that's a real big deal for them is for that. But
It's awesome. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
enjoying it.
I'm actually glad that I bought that now.
no, I'm actually really pissed that I got there a day late because that's a great blend.
I have to try to see if I can find another bottle at my. All right, so I was gonna say my Publix, but this is actually really funny that.
Cat.
One of my cats making
Yeah.
weird noises, but can't mention the puppy yet. I'm surprised. Passed out.
I'm sure that everybody has this, but I just want to ask: do you have your Publix, or do you have a Publix?
I do have a Publix.
Okay,
I do.
so
It's usually the one that's closest to your house, and I have two.
Not for me.
I have two that are opposite directions
They
from
are.
me.
On
Well,
you.
your Publix is my Publix.
it is.
We just talked
Yeah,
about this the other
yeah.
day. But I basically have two Publixes within. I'm gonna say the exact same distance, about maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles away from each
Yeah,
other.
fair enough.
One I will go to, one I will never ever step foot in ever.
Oh, that
And
one
it's
sucks.
just
That one sucks.
it's just the direction
Yeah.
of travel and the people that also tend to go there.
So,
the one
and it's
south
also
of you-
way too busy for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Way
one
too
south
busy.
of you, just where it's located, even though it's on such a busy road headed towards Lehigh, it just seems to be the way more peaceful one. Oddly enough, where the one,
The
Oh,
one,
his?
yeah, ours.
Yeah, the one south of
absolutely.
you, the
Well,
one
the one's
off
off Daniels, one's
82.
off Colonial and 82.
yeah, the 82 one, that one seems like I think we've stopped there before. And that one seems chaos.
Yeah.
Just driving through the parking lot gives me
Yeah.
anxiety.
Obviously,
so,
you know which one's mine. We just went there. It's literally a mile from my house. That's
Yeah.
like my go-to.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's not Farmer Joe's, which
Yeah.
nobody here will understand if you're not in Cape Coral or Lee County area, but the Publix is just the staple. I
Yeah.
mean, it's, you know.
So
Sure is.
for those of you
Florida man
that,
staple.
yeah, so for those of you, if you are outside of the state of Florida and you're watching this, what we mean by your Publix or our Publix, usually you go to a Publix and you're like, okay, I like this one. I'm gonna start coming to this one more often. So pretty much instead of you going to a Publix that it could be the one closest to your house, which I hate the one that's closest to my house. It sucks. You have a Publix that you go to on a regular basis, whether if it's on your way to your home or maybe you take a different route and you want to redirect and go there before you go home. But yeah, it's weird how like everybody here in the state of Florida,
Yeah.
they have their
Well,
Publix.
The other thing that comes with having your Publix, your preferred store, it's like I mentioned
talked
it when
about
we
it,
were
yeah.
walking through the store right down the road from him. It's like things are not in the right place. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you
they're
walk in
completely
and you're like,
different.
what the hell? The deli's
Yeah.
over there, and this is on
Yeah.
that side.
Like I've got 3 I could go to depending on which of the 2 ways I come home from work, and it's the one closest to my house is the one I usually choose because like I was telling you while we were walking around, all 3 are laid out different.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I spend so much time with the one the closest to me that I just know where
Yeah, you
every
just get
aisle
used
is,
to
where
where
everything
everything's
is, you know. I'm
And I
not
don't-
looking around like
we're
that
like
guy staring at the
Super
sign.
segueing,
Yeah.
away from carts and sort of booze. But I will say that I don't know if you guys shop the way I do, but like I know where everything is. I don't waste any time like window shopping. Just go get what I need, throw it in the cart, and get out of there as fast as I can.
I did it to my wife the other day. She's like, "Hey, can you get this?" I'm like, "I'm already back at the car." She's like, "How the shit? Like, how the hell did you do that?" I'm like, "I went in for 3
Boom,
things.
boom.
I grabbed. I paid, and I left."
Yep.
Was that the day that you didn't grab the zucchini or whatever
Yeah, I don't
it was?
want to
that
talk about it. I grabbed the cucumbers.
guy got
instead of zucchini
cucumbers
because I
instead
was
of
just
zucchini.
flying through there. But that was like the 3rd thing I needed. And I just
Don't be
went
like
through
Nick.
there,
Don't grab the wrong vegetable.
but, I mean, I get in there and it's like, you know,
Wait, it's a fruit,
I don't
right?
know.
It's a fruit.
No.
Yeah, it's a fruit.
Vegetables.
No,
They're
it's a
both
fruit.
vegetables.
No, because they
You're
have.
thinking of tomatoes.
No, because they have
Well, they do
seeds.
technically have seeds inside of them.
So it's a fruit.
Cucumber?
Technically,
Cucumber and zucchini is a fruit. If it has seeds, it's a fruit.
Put in the comments, are zucchini and cucumber fruits or vegetables? And what kind of car is your favorite? That should be on there too.
And brie.
they both flower. I think they're technically fruits. Technically.
I don't know, they're delicious. Both of them. I don't.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Whatever.
I'll down for putting some cucumber in me any day. You know what I'm
Hey.
saying?
All right, so I think the last Florida topic that we discussed anyway was favorite Florida racetrack.
Man, you see that one.
It's going to be obvious.
I mean,
No, we kind of all have a favorite
Well,
racetrack.
yeah, you're right, but also for me, like I feel like I don't know, have I gone to more tracks than you guys have here in Florida?
In Florida, I'm sure, yeah.
Because I've gone to Bradenton Motorsports Park. I've now been to Freedom Factory, obviously Sebring. I've gone to OSW, both the oval track and the drag strip, because they have one of.
Have
like,
you been
they
to
have both.
Daytona?
Have not been to Daytona.
I have been to Daytona.
I
It
have
wasn't during the.
I have
24.
not. I have not gone to Homestead, but I've driven by it. I've gone to. This is no longer open. It's closed years ago. But Hialeah Speedway, County Line. Yeah.
We also got the
Immokalee Raceway.
little one up in Punta Gorda too.
Oh yeah, Three Palms. Well, it used to
Whatever
be
it's
called
called,
Three
yeah,
Palms,
whatever
but
it's
now it's
called
called
now.
like 417, whatever something. I've been to that
What
one.
about the Collier County Swamp Buggy races? You ever been to that track before?
I feel like that's not a real track, sir.
100% is a real place.
Is it though?
Yeah, I was just there last week.
Is it though?
Have
Is
you
there-
heard of the
That's not-
Swamp Buggy races?
I've
I'm
heard
not
of
gonna
them.
lie. When I think of a track, I think of like a track.
It's a
paved.
track.
I
It's
don't think
under, I don't
think
know,
it's-
6
yeah.
inches
I
of
I don't
water
think
and
it's
mud.
strips or anything
But
like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's drag strips. I don't consider those tracks or anything. I call them a drag strip. You know, for me.
Yeah.
I gotta get you
but
guys to the Swamp Buggy races sometime. It's pretty fun. Talk about Florida man. It doesn't get
This
more
guy
Florida
is
man.
becoming
It does
more
not
and
get
more.
more Florida man
This
than.
guy is becoming more
Zericho.
Florida man.
What's that?
Eric Lloyd. He's got to go. Right?
Oh, probably. I feel like he probably had a truck that could
He's
run in
prob-
that before.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got that big jacked up thing he's got.
That's definitely a Collier County staple. It's
Yeah.
been down there for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, I will admit though, as far as Florida, I've been to Daytona for bike week, oddly enough, never for an actual race, but I've been to the track. Obviously, Sebring, sometimes more than once a year if there's an event there. Been to Bradenton that one time. Two
Yeah.
guys that got rained out by the time
Yeah.
I got there, so that was kind of a waste of a trip. I mean, except for the corporate ladder stuff.
Yeah.
But aside from that, man, yeah, like up north, I've been Dover, Poconos, there's another one
Englishtown?
up there I've been up to. I've actually never been to Englishtown.
Wall, New Jersey.
I always wanted to go to Englishtown for the STI versus Evo days, and I
Oh, yeah.
never made it. Or they did. Oh, they also did the import versus
Yeah.
domestic days.
Well,
Never
you
made
know
it up there.
the-
it was like 2 hours for me. So
Well,
it
you know
wasn't the
the
easiest thing.
the drag strip, they turned it into a figure eight for
I didn't
drifting.
know that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, maybe I did do that because I used to watch them. They used to do the stuff up there on Formula D back on the day in G4. They'd have some runs up there in
Well,
Englishtown.
Formula D is actually now back at Englishtown, and they're actually doing
There we
it's
go.
literally a figure eight, and
Yeah.
they do the figure eight.
But I mean, you guys have a lot more to discuss than me. But as far as
Yeah.
Florida tracks that I have experience with, it's only really Sebring. So it's really my favorite. And I mean,
I'm
it's-
gonna assume it's Sebring
and
because I really
it's
don't.
also one of the most epic endurance tracks in the world. Also,
It is.
so
Yes.
that kind of
And they also do some amateur drifting stuff there.
They do.
Some pro
they
am,
do
but
some
like
of the short drag stuff on the back
they do
straight.
some drag
Yeah.
stuff.
Or French
so-
straight.
yeah.
The French straight, actually.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
Sebring
know,
is great, but don't hate
enthusiast
me.
track days.
Don't hate me for saying this. OSW is my favorite track.
Good. That's why I asked.
Yeah,
Oh,
Why
I
is it your
love-
favorite?
he has dreams of hitting a wall there one day.
Yes, wall tapping the
Maybe,
wall.
maybe not a full hit, but yeah,
Yeah.
scraping a bumper on a wall.
No, it's just
I mean,
like
I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to do that too. So
yeah, no, it's just that the fact that like all the time that I've gone to OSW, like they've always been. So every
He's
event
about
that
to
I've
say
gone,
he has more fun there than he does with us at Sebring.
no, actually, no, that's not true. That's not true because during the 12 hours of Sebring is also the spring break bash for
Which
OSW.
is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate,
really unfortunate.
but guess where I'm at every single year? I'm at
Sebring.
Sebring with you guys. It's
Yeah, because if you didn't, we
It's
cut
a
your legs off and below the knees. So
That's true.
There's that.
You'd be like the guy on the skateboard.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, but like honestly, it's just that the fact that any event that I've gone to at OSW, whether obviously it's always been for drifting, you always meet very, very interesting people, and like everybody is so open, like when it comes to the actual drifting community. So like there's been a day where I've gone and like Adam LZ is working on a car right there, and so is Taylor
Yeah.
Ray, and like so is his buddy Ben Julian, and there's been like a lot of like influencers that I like actually go to the track, and it's cool because like I follow these guys, and like
Right.
and like in regards to actual them like driving professionally or even on a more professional level, I actually look up to them because these guys are great drivers. Like if you guys saw Formula D last night or yesterday, holy shit, Adam LZ was fucking killing it.
Yeah.
But
talk about the Formula D event.
yeah, I will after this, but yeah, it's cool because like I've gone to events where it's just literally just a straight up amateur event, and then events where it's kind of like a mix between amateur and influencers and professional drivers, and they're just like literally have fully built drift cars, and they're like literally sending it like on the oval, and the oval. So and with OSW, they have an oval track and they have a skid pad, and I've seen cars driving on both, obviously, but yeah, it's just incredible because like just the level of skill of people driving on that track even like when it comes on an amateur level, you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit, these guys can fucking rip.
Well, I find it funny too. You mentioned like, oh man, you meet so many interesting people. Like you haven't been basically abducted by an old white Florida cracker at F Troop before and taken back to their spaceship camp or whatever the hell it was.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
That was Kenny G.
somehow,
Kenny
yeah,
G.
Kenny, yeah, you meet some really interesting people. It's
That
something we
was-
both do, but man, you just like, oh,
Funny
white
enough-
man, puppies and kittens. Yeah, let me hop on in with you. I got you.
Funny
Like,
enough, I was not
piece
drunk
of
that
candy.
day, and I still came back sober.
Yeah, you are very abductable though. Somehow, like you just hop right on in.
Well, I mean, like, here's the with Sebring.
Well, you don't
like,
know what he did
like,
when he got over
no,
there.
That's
no,
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
I didn't do
Something about
shit.
aliens, space shuttle probes. I don't know.
Absolutely nothing. But all I'm saying is that when it
That's not
comes to
what- that's not what Kenny
Sebring,
G said.
yeah, Sebring is very, very interesting too. Like, I love that place. I just when it comes to both tracks, OSW and Sebring, like OSW, like it has my heart because I'm a huge fanboy of drifting. I love drifting, so that's pretty much like where Florida drifting is located. With Sebring, I love road course racing too. I want to road course race my Corvette or any other future car that I get. And during the 12 hours, yeah, we meet some great freaking people. Like we met Greg.
Yeah.
Greg with Turn 10, and then your buddy from Core Motorsports.
Was it wow, his last name's Whaler. I'm just absolutely drawing a blank all of a sudden.
Yeah.
CJ?
CJ. Yeah, possibly CJ. But then we also
CJ,
met
yeah, CJ
Greg,
Wheeler.
that actually was like one of the pick crew guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, yeah, you meet some great people at Sebring, and you get to have a blast and have a really good time there. But it's like a different ambiance.
Well,
Yeah,
and
I'm
it's
sure
also
different.
like
It's definitely different.
one time a year
Yeah.
It
for
is.
4 days, and then you move
It
on
is.
with your life. You go back to your normal stuff. You know.
Yeah. Versus like with OSW, you can consistently go there because they have Spring Break Bash if you're into that, the Black Friday event, which is a really good event, and then they have like a bunch of pop-up events here and there that you can go to, and you can see some people ripping on track, man. And some people were like, they have some really impressive skill.
Oh, sure.
You know, I will say, Sebring is honestly my favorite track because it's long-standing now. We go there every year. Everybody knows it. We talk about it all the time. One that I have not gone to yet, and I really want to go, but one that I am genuinely impressed with what they've been able to accomplish there in a short amount of time is Freedom Factory. Cletus McFarlane. I mean, that guy kind of started out on a YouTube, not even his own YouTube channel, kind of went his own way with Leroy. C5 Corvette, made it one of the fastest C5 Corvettes in the world. And then bought a racetrack, and he's really doing some cool shit. I mean, a lot of cool shit.
Well,
Like he's
and
doing.
Yeah.
We joke about the sign that got put up being the wrong sign and saying Factory Freedom instead of Freedom Factory.
Yeah.
But the freaking Florida DOT gave the dude a sign. He's been there for just a few years, built
Yeah,
that place
amazing.
up. DOT provided a sign off the road to tell people hey, this is over here. Get off here.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
I mean, he's not only is he trying to keep racing legal and alive and well
And he's
in
fighting
the
for it,
state,
too.
and he's fighting for it. He's really fighting to make that
Here with that noose.
with the new
housing
communities and stuff.
development,
But
Lakewood
you know,
Ranch.
I can just say that he does so many different kinds of things. He does drift events. He does obviously it's right next to Bradenton, so he works with them on a lot of things. But they do the Crown
Spectator
Vic
drags.
races,
Oh, yeah.
spectator drags. They do all kinds of really cool stuff. And he's really just kind of keeping the dream alive for everybody. So
I was
we need to
fortunate-
make it up there.
I was fortunate to go out there during.
You were there
during
for,
the FST rally,
right.
and it's a very impressive facility, and it was actually a lot larger than what I was actually
Well, he's
anticipating
put a
or
lot of
expecting.
work into it, like new grandstands. and, like,
Yeah,
he's done a lot
no, of
work.
course, but here's the crazy thing, because before it was the Freedom Factory, it used to be called DeSoto Speedway or DeSoto Motorsports or something like that, because way back in the day, it was called DeSoto because that's where it's located. It's DeSoto County. DeSoto County way back in the day used to have a ton of drifting events up until they closed, and then Garrett or Cletus actually bought the track again. But it's an impressive facility because he did that massive concrete pad.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that thing is massive.
Yeah, in the middle. Middle of the track. Yeah.
Like in the rally, like we had like a little over 100 cars on the rally. They needed an overflow for parking for those cars on that pad.
Wow.
Like all of our cars filled up that whole pad, and then they still had to have like more additional parking on. I think it was like, I think the cars were parked on a bank.
Wow.
So it's an impressive facility. I would love to go there for an actual event and actually be able to actually meet Garrett, because he's there pretty much mostly for almost every single event.
Yeah. He's very hands-on with the place.
Yeah, and I would love
from
just
what it
to
looks like anyway.
Yeah, I would just love to just like shoot shit with them and just kind of hear his story, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Super impressive. Keep it up, man.
Yeah.
You're
Seems like a
kind
guy.
of keeping the dream alive for
Yeah.
a lot of us in the state. So
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, I mean, from the way this looks like with emissions and stuff, we might be one of the last states that can actually pull that off.
yeah,
If we
true.
can keep
Yeah.
all the fucking Northerners from buying property directly next to it after they've signed something saying they won't complain about it.
Yeah,
and
just
then
stop
complaining
it.
about
Don't buy a freaking house next to a racetrack and then whine about it. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Don't be a
You're
bitch.
smarter than that. Yeah, don't be a bitch.
Yeah, and it's really funny because like there's a bunch of videos that are coming up online, mostly from Cletus, like that he's going to the track and he's like, yeah, like I'm like 5 miles away and I can still hear like the funny cars or like the NRA cars, or,
Yeah.
the NHRA,
NHRA.
cars.
Yeah, the top.
NHRA, yeah, the
dragsters,
top field dragsters. You can hear him from his house and he's like 5 miles away.
Oh yeah.
But then one of his old employees, Cooper, lives like less than 6 miles away from the track, and he can hear the top field dragsters too. And he even posted a video on his Instagram where he clipped where he was on the map, and then he's like recording it, and you can hear the freaking top
Yeah.
field dragsters, and I'm like, holy shit, people are gonna start blowing their heads off.
Yeah, I mean those things are an anomaly in terms of race
Yeah.
cars, but still, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's it's crazy because it doesn't seem like the culture itself is dying. It's just that there's more whiny, bitchy people that are just have things to say about it when they don't understand any
Well,
of it, and it's
There's that, and I feel like also the state really, which I'm calling you out, DeSantis, by the way. The state really
And
doesn't.
canceled.
Yeah, they really don't care, or he really doesn't care, or the state doesn't care, I should say, about racetracks when they should, because like one story that should be an inspiration to the state of Florida itself was PBIR. So we just recently lost PBIR. Actually, this should have been an episode that we talked about, but I kind of fucked that one up, and that episode was lost. That was episode 2 of the podcast, which you were never going to see it because it got fucked up anyways. But we were talking about tracks that we're losing. So PBIR was one of them that they ended up closing down. Kudos to Palm Beach the sheriff's office, because they were trying to stop the sale of that track, because they knew, because if you look at the map of PBIR, so there's a go-kart track, there's an actual road course that a lot of people use for drifting, and then there's a drag strip. So they knew if we shut this track down, where are those drifters and those drag racers going to go?
yeah.
The
And
only
the
other
streets.
place that they have is going to be the streets. So they were trying to stop this sale because they understood. Palm Beach Sheriff's Office understood that these people they no longer had a home at a track, so they were going to be taking it to the streets.
Right.
100%.
But
And that's different from no track shutting down. All those
exactly.
people, and frankly, if one of those places gets shut down because of a residential street directly behind it, I hope people start just ripping it and lighting up down that street.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible because like there's kids and stuff like that. But it's like, you know what? You've caused this. You
have
fucked it up for everybody that was trying to do this correctly and legally, well within their rights. And then these Karens and Kyles and let's call them the Richards/Dicks just want to be like, oh, nope, I want to live here and I want to be peaceful and quiet. We'll go back to fucking California then.
Here we could.
Back to that.
Yeah, here we go back to California.
Yeah.
But like, I wonder just how much vacant county property there is in the state of Florida.
So-
like owned by the counties, right?
Yeah.
Like we've talked. I think we talked about it on a previous podcast, but
Airport property and stuff.
well,
that's
yeah, like
unused
like the Southwest Florida International Airport here. There was like a rumor several years ago that somebody was going to be buying a good portion of that property and putting
Yeah.
some tracks on it. Putting a drag strip, putting a go-kart track.
So awesome.
Would be amazing, and that would get a lot of people off the streets, because these guys that are out ripping their cars down a couple of different highways in the county in our area, they're not going to drive all the way up to Bradenton. They're not going to Immokalee anymore. They're not, so they're
Well, Immokalee they don't want to go to because it's such a short track, and
Yeah.
not to knock Immokalee, like you guys haven't been there, like I have, but like they don't prep their track,
Yeah.
so like it's a totally unprepared unprepped track, so.
and it's an 8th mile.
And it's an 8th mile, and like you one don't have room to like get the car up to speed that you want to, and two
Great
like
for Miata.
Well, yeah, it is. But like you can launch the car and like you're not gonna have any grip because they don't prep the track. Which unfortunately, like that's like and even like Drift HQ was trying to like bring some activity to Immokalee. And Immokalee was just like, nope, we're kind of done with you. Even though Immokalee, like Drift HQ, brought them business, and this is before Adam LZ bought Drift HQ like a couple years back. Like this is back in like 2017, 2018. That Drift HQ was doing free drifting events. They were paying Immokalee to have people drifting for free. So it's just like
I don't know, man. My point to it is like, you would think that every county in the state would want some sort of facility. Close by
to allow an outlet
to where
for people.
let people go and get their jollies off, driving fast, doing shenanigans, but do it legally and do it safely and do it monitored on a racetrack. And not only that, but if it's owned by the county, turn around and make money. You can make money on it. Like why is that not a thing? I just don't understand it.
It's maybe it's our fault. So people be allowed to be in office. I don't know.
It's true.
I mean, it could.
I don't know that I've seen one candidate that wanted to put together a racetrack though. So.
Well, Mike, I'm just saying, buddy. It might be your chance.
You gonna run for office?
No, not me. I got too much shit going as is. No, definitely not me.
Yeah, but no, I feel like it's just if tracks had backup from the counties or from the state, it'll be a lot better because one, you're gonna reduce the amount of people doing stupid shit out on your streets. So the streets are going to be safer, and just give people a place to be able to have fun and express themselves, just what I think.
100%. But we could rant and rave about that forever.
We can,
What I'm really curious about before we sign off is how those cookies taste.
Ooh, yeah. Forgot about those.
Yeah, we haven't cracked those open.
That's the only thing we have not dipped into
I know.
while we're sitting here.
Actually, we have that other beer, which we're probably going to dip into that off camera, but I'm sure it's going to be just as delicious.
Here you go. Bourbon chocolate chip something or other.
You gonna grab one?
He's gonna make a mess.
Yeah,
my God.
it's gonna make a huge mess. Bear tells. Thanks, Publix. These should be $3 cookies. Instead, they were like $6, but whatever.
Maybe it's because they're bourbon beverage. That's why they're $6. That's a good cookie.
There's something nice about the crumbly shortbread that I like too every now and then, but
Yeah.
solid choice. Bourbon, chocolate, walnut.
Yep.
It is pretty tasty. So, anybody watching, like, comment, share, and subscribe, obviously. But what are some other things that we should be doing? Obviously, we wanted to do something fun. We've been a while since we gotten together. Decided to go Florida Man. What should the next one be? I think we should do more of these kind of like niche-y specials. Yeah. Keeps it fun, keeps it interesting.
I'm done. The in-persons.
I'm done.
Give us some ideas. We need some ideas to have on the books. We're also going to try to do some more in-person. We need to do another brewery. Going to try to lock one of those in for you guys here pretty soon.
Probably also have a couple future guests. That should be fun.
A couple of future guests already lined up. We just got to work out some details there.
Fair warning, they are not car people, but they will be hilarious.
Oh, it's going to be exciting. It's definitely going to be exciting.
If you're watching this, you know who you are.
Yep, for sure.
Wait, do they watch the podcast?
Probably just to make fun of Mike.
Probably just to make fun of me.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
It's easy to do. I can't blame them.
Yeah. Yeah. And on that note,
yeah,
that's all the time that we have here for you guys today. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing to all of our channels and all of our social media pages. Make sure to savor your brews and hit the road responsibly. Also, to Mike's point, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. You guys know what to do. Cheers to booze and cars, and we'll catch you guys on the next podcast.
Cheers.
Cheers.